Pretty much, let me introduce Shiv. I first found her on Instagram for her island, but her island, as you can see, is called Bollywood. So I love the whole concept of her island. I thought this is something super unique, something different. All right, so while we're flying on over, Shiv, how about you explain or like introduce yourself and your history with Animal Crossing and pretty much your concept for creating Bollywood.
Cool. So I basically got the idea because I got a sari from one of my villagers, and I was like, I wonder if I could create something that was centered around India or that showcased like parts of Indian culture in addition to just this one sari. I am Indian American. I was born and raised in California, but a lot of my roots and like what I identify culturally ties back to what my parents raised me as, which is an Indian girl. I grew up doing Indian dance. I love Bollywood movies, where my inspiration came from. And I've only been playing since May, but I've put in 570 plus hours. So,
wow. Oh my goodness. So feel free for this tour. Take me wherever you want. Talk about every single thing. Explain like all the Bollywood references. And for friends in the chat, if you have any questions, please tag myself or Shiv so we can see your message or your question in the chat, and we'll try to go through them. All right. I'm so excited. Let's get started.
All right. So my entrance is actually the first thing I'm going to talk about. You know, everyone knows these items as aroma pots. If you play the game, they're DIYs. And I kind of wanted to just introduce the idea of this concept that a lot of Indians refer to as nazar, which is to like rid the evil eye when you enter a new home or just like before an auspicious occasion. So the reason why it's like this little path up to resident services from the airport is just to kind of like welcome people in and rid them of all the negative vibes and negative energy. And it's just a very like auspicious thing that happens. So that's kind of the start of your journey on Bollywood.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And then just because someone mentioned something about my outfit, I do want to talk about this really quick. But
yeah.
This is actually my wedding outfit. I got married last year. And you'll see it again on later in the island as well. But this one's actually not available for download. But it's something super special to me. And it's like the only outfit I wear in Animal Crossing. Even though I get a bunch of cool clothes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So also I wanted to put yellow flowers here just because of the dress as well. But yellow is my favorite color. And also it triggers like happiness psychologically. So I just wanted all of these positive vibes like right when you come in. We are going to start this way though. And this is my first little bar restaurant area that I built. It's called Haldirams, and haldi is actually a turmeric paste. So turmeric is a very common spice and is used for a lot of ailments in India. And this is kind of just like a little sit down, little restaurant area that leads to a beach that is called Turmeric Beach, accordingly to this furniture. That's all yellow because I just loved all the yellow customizable furniture. So yeah, but this actually, there's like no cultural significance to this part of the island. It's kind of just like, I really like yellow and I wanted to incorporate all the different like custom items in here. And that kind of brings us to our first Bollywood reference. I'm just going to spoil it. Okay, it's Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. It's also known as like DDLJ for short by really avid Bollywood fans. And it's just like there's a quintessential scene where they run to each other in a field of flowers that like I think everyone, you know, they romanticize Bollywood movies and that's kind of what they remember.
Exactly,
so I just I wanted that to be our first good reference that we get to look at. And then this is actually the newest part of my island that I just added for this tour and for
my
updated
goodness.
Dream.
Really? Oh, I feel so special.
So, these little hats are customized plates to represent dosa and idli, which is a really common South Indian breakfast food. Not very popularly known, I guess, like for a lot of people, just because the most like common Indian food I think people know is just chicken tikka masala and naan, right? Because it's like really popularized. And I just kind of wanted to give, I am South Indian, so I just wanted to bring a little bit of that flavor up in here. So this is my little dosa and idli breakfast spot for people to enjoy. And then we go over here, and this is the Golden Temple. And I think you get the best viewing spot if you open up your camera, like right here.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just move out of your way. But so this is a Sikh temple that is located in Punjab, which is like a northern state in India. And it's, in actuality, like in real life, it's surrounded by water, man-made pool. So that's kind of why I wanted to put it on the rocks instead of like building it on land and just building water around it. But this is such a special build for me. I have a lot of really close Sikh friends, and I wanted to create something that, at least like, you know, out of respect to them and out of respect for the weddings that I shoot, that I, just like you mentioned, like there's so many different religions in India that I kind of wanted that to come across to in the island as well. So this was that little homage to them. And it's in real life, it's made of like actual gold leaf on gold stone. Leaf.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like stunning. Sorry, I just ran away from you.
Oh, all good.
All right, and then this is potentially where I want to put some rocks, but I actually don't have many rocks on the island right now. I just killed them all because I don't like how they look. And that kind of leads us to our next reference. I don't know if people will get this one, but it is a popular 90s Bollywood movie as well. And it's called Mohabbatein. And it literally translates to stories of love, I think.
Aww.
And I know that a lot of people use their museum to like use like to showcase the art that you get in the game and the sculptures and stuff, but I wanted to turn it into a college because essentially museums are just places of knowledge, right?
Right.
Which is also what a college is. So I just wanted to kind of like reference that and have that be the college that's in the movie. And then off to the side, there's a couple of more references from that movie because the biggest plot point, or like the climax when he actually professes his love for the woman in the movie, is when he writes "I love you" on a leaf. So that's kind of why I have that there. But it's like so subtle that I only think that people that have watched the movie will understand what I'm saying. And but that's awesome. I mean, that's kind of why I created the island. Is I just wanted people like me to feel represented.
Right.
And I think that that's so important because I know there's so many different people playing Animal Crossing, and I haven't found a lot of Indian people, but as soon as I posted my designs, I feel like they all just came out of the woodwork and just showed up, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, I feel so accepted. I hope that they feel accepted and represented. So, yeah, but that's that. And then if you go sneak past this little corridor right here, you kind of walk into a little college area. This is just a little classroom that I built. The lag is crazy over here, so sorry about that.
No, I love lag because it means like there's tons of items, and that just gets me so excited.
And then this is like a subtle reference to another movie called Mehuna. Not really complete yet. I have to make one more thing for it, but if people know the main character in that movie, they might be able to get it. But yeah. And then we just kind of go over here. So the tiniest park in the world, just like Parks and Recreation. And there's 3 scooters over here before we enter the Bazaar. And that's a little nod to a movie called 3 Idiots, which is a really popular Bollywood movie that's like more modern day, I guess, within the past like decade. Most of these are on Netflix, by the way. So if you guys need Netflix recs.
That's perfect, actually.
So yeah, so this is my pride and joy, but also the laggiest thing of my island because there's just so much going on. This is my bazaar. This is probably like the most Indian part of my island, I think, possible. So you'll notice that there are a lot of mosquitoes like just everywhere in my island because I love how they look when they're placed. It's just like a funny way for me to, like, you know, when you hate mosquitoes,
yeah,
you just want to like trap them. And yeah, so when we're walking through, you'll see some of my designs kind of just like scattered around, a bunch of weeds, this random little fan because that's like so quintessential India, just to have a fan because it's so hot and humid. There's like a little chai spot right here, and just like a bunch of the game quotes that I felt like looked Indian, but most of them are not actually. They're just kind of like mimicked Indian design, so I just wanted to kind of showcase that. And then if you tilt your camera up while you're walking, kind of like where you're at,
yeah.
you'll see some doorways that like you'll see in other parts of the island in the back, and then there's like this like slew of billboards right there, and those are just like little Easter eggs that I kind of included to just like tease like little parts of the island that we'll see like later, and also just like the brands that we're gonna see in India that are on the island as well. So I kind of just wanted to create that little part.
This is amazing. So how often do you go to India?
So I used to go like every 2 years. Now with like work and stuff, it's been really hard. So now it's probably like every 4. But I mean, I love India. I wish I could live in India. I think that there's just way too many conveniences here that we're used to that it would be hard for me to get used to life there. But I absolutely love visiting, and I have so much family there that it just feels like I could live there, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. This is also one of my other favorite spots because my outfits are just like out here chilling.
All on display.
So yeah, and then so you'll see like this is like a bazaar within a bazaar, just to kind of get you into that city vibe of like things are so chaotic that there's literally a marketplace within a marketplace.
Right.
And then I just have like the orchard right in front of it to get some fresh fruit for the market, you know. And then we're actually going to do a house tour. This is my second resident tour. Second residence house. And this one is kind of about like the careers that you're going to find in India, and a little bit of just something that's a little bit different than what you typically see in Animal Crossing houses.
Okay. All right. So what's this first room that we're in?
All right. So this is a bank, and there isn't. It's not that a lot of Indians are bankers, but I did want to incorporate a bank just because the game made it really easy to do that. But I wanted to incorporate some gold pieces in here to kind of emphasize the importance of gold in Indian culture. A lot of people that are Indian see value in gold versus more like material things that we see maybe on the Western side of the world. And that is obviously like a very fleeting concept, you know. It's a very Eastern mentality thing, I think, that gets lost when you translate it to this side of the world.
Oh wow, look at this room.
So this is a really special one for me. I come from a family of engineers. They're all different types of engineers: mechanical, chemical, and electrical. And my husband is an electrical engineer. So I kind of just wanted to create like a cyber cafe, but also just make it, obviously, you know, a lot of people know that Indians are stereotypically engineers, doctors, or lawyers. And I just kind of wanted to play on the stereotype, but also pay homage to my family because, you know, that's what I grew up understanding and also living now with my husband. So this is kind of just like a little cyber cafe that I made. But yeah, so this is just like another profession-based room. I have a lot of doctors in my family, and I just wanted to, again, pay homage to them in some way in the game. And also just like to the healthcare heroes that are fighting out there during this time. I thought it was super important to do that. So you can grab some medicine here if you want. But other than that, well, but we can't really grab things in the house, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's that room. This is a little plant shop to signify that a lot of Indians actually were farmers and like agriculturists, horticulturists, like early on before industrialization happened. And again, because I've seen so many cute plant shops on Reddit, I was like, oh, I want to make one, but just I wanted to make it significant in some way. So just a little cute little plant shop that I wanted to include. This is a rice factory. I've seen a lot of people do like rice like fields because they have like Bali-based islands or even like just like Japanese rural islands have a bunch of like rice fields. But I wanted to make a rice factory because I think a lot of people know that India is famous for rice, you know, basmati rice, jasmine rice. Yeah. So I wanted to just, again, pay homage to a lot of what brought India up in the world's economy was its spice trade and its rice. So, I wanted that to be very clearly demonstrated. And that's why it's the top floor of the house, because it's essentially like if you travel down the house, you get into more modern careers and professions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last part is just my second residence home, because I really wanted to decorate another room. The only really culturally significant part of this room is the bathroom. It's a squatting toilet, because that's typically what you would find in Eastern third world countries that, are still on the developing side. Versus like in my house, you'll see like a completely modern version of a bathroom. And I wanted to have that juxtaposition to like show that there's a difference. Just because I am Indian American, and as I was researching for the island, I'm like constantly battling with the idea of like not really being from India, but trying to incorporate parts of it in the island while still maintaining my own personality,
Well, so far, I feel like you've done like such a great job representing that on your island. Like every little spot is very new to me. I haven't seen many of these things before in other islands. This is a lot of fun, and I love your attention to detail with everything.
That's awesome. I feel like it's so hard to create something unique just because you get so much inspiration from people online, and they may see it as like, that you're copying them and stuff like that, but it's like, it's just a game at the end of the day. Like, I really don't care. I mean, I love that people give credit, and that's awesome, but I just don't think we should be taking that seriously. But yeah, so this is a little fish market. Again, I've seen a couple of versions of this on people's islands as well. And this is actually a reference to Goa, which is a coastal region in India, known for their beaches and for seafood. So there's also a little hamster that's hiding behind this little ship bottle. But yeah, and then this is just a little seating area for that. Nothing too special on this side. You'll see that I don't like decorating my beaches. It's like my least favorite part. I think a lot of people are like that from what I've seen on Reddit. I think
so, yeah.
They kind of just leave them to...
Yeah, they leave it, or they just struggle with that area, yeah.
So we're gonna head back down this way. Alright. So this is probably the least Indian part of my island. You can hop on that stone if you want. This is Unity Falls. It's something that I created as like a little love note to my LGBTQIA plus friends, just because I've seen a lot of rainbow flower, fields in the game. And I wanted to just make something different, and I wanted to use like terraforming to help to just like combine the two, to combine the flower hybrids and the waterfalls. So that's kind of where I'm at. And this is also to show that I once had a 5-star island, but I love weeds, so that's not happening anymore. All right. Oh, and then you can hear audio, right? Like,
yep, I can hear the waterfalls and the music and everything. Yep.
Okay. Because that's very important to me, because there's a lot of hidden speakers around my island to like give the ambient noise to be KK Oasis, which is the Bollywood song that's playing literally everywhere. I just deemed it Bollywood because if you look at the KK album art, there's like a little Indian KK with the turban.
Oh, is
and, like,
there? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I've discovered it on like a very random like I was ordering stuff and I saw that he was wearing a turban, and I was like, oh, gotta get that. So if you hide behind this little resident services building and tilt your camera up, you can see something that I talk about on my Instagram is the origin and the meaning of the Indian flag. So you'll see like that little flower area that's kind of just supposed to replicate what the flag looks like. I'll get out of the way. And the middle part of the flag is actually a wheel. It's a wooden wheel. It's called the Ashoka Chakra. And there's like a really beautiful meaning behind it to symbolize like a country's path to progress. And I think it's like a really cute way to decorate your resident services. I've seen a lot of people create like an incline area above it. And I just wanted it to be like that showcase to just celebrate the flag. And you get this random DIY like tire thing, and I was like, that's perfect.
This is beautiful. I really love this. This is so beautiful. And it's so great with like the golden hour lighting right now too. Like it's just, everything's so beautiful. I love this. Very creative.
Yeah, I definitely time traveled, and all of my dreams are set to this time because it's just like a very romanticized view of the island. Not that it doesn't look pretty at other times, but it's definitely like that Indian. It's also to like really show off that Indian heat, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like we're in sweltering heat. This was originally a gym. I turned it into a Bollywood reference. This is from one of my favorite movies, like I mentioned before, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. I kind of really I love working out, so I wanted a gym area. So this is, again, a very non-Indian part of mine. But, you know, we put a reference in here so that
yeah.
There's Raymond being Raymond. So yeah, my villagers are actually part of my theme as well. I worked really hard and spent lots of bells to get them. Lots of Nukazan trading to get some really cool villagers. But the ones in specific that I recently just got that are very important to me are Margie and Soleil, because their Japanese names actually translate. Margie's is Sari, and Soleil's is Shanti, which means peace in Hindi. And I saw that fact and I was like, I need them like yesterday. So I had to like do the whole time travel to kick out villagers thing and try and figure it out. But I am so glad I got them. And one really random fact as to why I kept Raymond is because his eyes are actually orange and green, which are the colors of the flag. So I was like,
oh my goodness, that's so creative thinking of that. That's way too smart. Wow.
Okay, cool. So this is my little Asian Indo-Chinese restaurant. It's called Bombay Bistro. It's a play off of Bombay, which is a city in India. And also just like Bombay Bistro is a very common Indian name for a restaurant. So I just love Indian Chinese food in India. They have like such a unique like flavor palette that you just don't find here when it's replicated. So there's stuff like dumplings, they're called momos. They have Hakka noodles, which are like street noodles. And yeah, so this was also because we are given so many Asian things in this game from Asian descent, and I wanted, again, a little area to just you know, come in, at least give them some props, you know, because the items are so cute.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to find a way to use them somehow.
Really adorable.
So this is a little tea spot. And this was, again, one of the first restaurants that I built in the island. That's why that sign is so janky, but I like to keep it that way because it shows the progress that I've made as an artiste, an Animal Crossing artist. And this is the little kitchen for the restaurant.
Oh, I love this area.
All right. Okay, and then when we head over this way, this is kind of like Starbucks, but Indian version. It's a really popular coffee chain in India called Cafe Coffee Day. And I really wanted to create a little reading nook because my friends and I actually started a book club during quarantine. And
nice.
I wanted to have like a way to remember it, so I just made that little reading area. And the panels and that coffee thing are not mine. Someone really awesome made them. I have no idea who though. And this is so the pathing here is to kind of it's a very big change, obviously, from the brick that you see on the right and the left of this. And it's because it's kind of to exemplify this as a more modern area. That we are moving into like a different phase of India. And you'll kind of see that with the industrialization because I have a little train station over here. You can go look that way. I won't block you. But this also looks super dope at night because there's a garden lantern back there that illuminates. You get the best view if you just go in here and then come out and then take a shot. Because then you can change the camera perspective. So yeah, and then again, I think we've seen this bridge layout on so many people's islands. I was like, I want it too. Even though it's not something you'd see in India. I just really wanted it because it's so pretty. This is kind of the start of villager housing, and I did want to kind of block it off, which you'll see if your camera's like down a little bit instead of up. You won't see the houses, but as soon as you bring it up, you kind of get to see the whole view of the houses.
Ah, okay.
Just to make it seem really populated and feel like you're in a city, and you wouldn't have these like awesome views of houses. You'll notice a sneak peek of the houses, though. There are shoes outside everyone's house. That's a very common Asian thing, I think.
Yep.
To remove your shoes. I'm actually barefoot right now. I don't really ever wear shoes in this game. I don't know why. But yeah, and then this is the only part of my beach that I've decorated, and the only reason for that is because these represent an actual area in India on a beach called Juhu Beach, which is kind of in the north, and they are the wave breakers in this game. I don't think anyone uses them. I think they're just like massive and people don't like how they look, but they are obviously like of significance for actual environmental cause. So they're called tetrapods. They're meant to like stop erosion. So I wanted to kind of like have that along this coastline. And that kind of brings us over to another new part of my island, which is the spice trading dock. I know a lot of people have like really cute aesthetic docks. That was not my move. I really wanted to do something that was, again, historical and functional. A lot of India's economy was built off of spice trade.
Right.
So, when Christopher Columbus mistakenly did not come to India, Vasco da Gama made it to India, right? And basically that opened India to the world of trade. So I just wanted to kind of like put this on the dock and put it near the coast to really, again, draw back to that historical time period. And then if you do tilt, you'll see that my custom design here is these little garam masala packets. And if people are familiar with Indian food, a lot of our curries are made with masala powder, and that is actually like 20 plus spices combined to make one spice that they put in the actual curry. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I think that they think that it's just kind of like one
seasoning thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that my favorite part about the story of this doc, though, is that I had to trade people to get the spice racks
these
that you
items.
see.
Oh.
And I think that's so cute, and it's also just like a testament to the community and how cool it is. Obviously they didn't know I was making a spice doc, but like it was like something that I like happened upon because I didn't know they came in 3 different colors, and I just think it's a fun little fact to include.
Aww.
But yeah. All right, so this is a really special part. This is actually my wedding ceremony setup. You get the best view from where I'm standing. If you tilt your camera out, I'm just gonna move out. So I know that you're familiar with this because you've shot Indian weddings, but there are Indian weddings take place on a mandap, which is like a ceremonial stage. And my husband is half Persian, so I wanted to, in my actual wedding, incorporate Persian rugs as part of my decor. So that's kind of why I have this little rug laid out here. And those cushions actually are where the parents sit during a ceremony because it's basically the combining of 2 different families. So I wanted this to be a really educational moment for people. I know that my island is like full of those little tidbits, but this one's really special to me, obviously, because those are my outfits, and I spent so much time like personalizing my wedding that I knew that once the wedding season came in Animal Crossing, I was like looking for items to like make work for an Indian wedding, and they didn't really have many, as you can see here. But but I made it work, and I'm super proud of it. So
I'm so amazed at how you were able to recreate like your wedding outfits into the game. Like that's such a fun idea, and that's like inspiring me now to like create my wedding dress on the game as well now.
You definitely have to. It's not. You're never going to change after you make that and wear it. Trust me. I try and I'm like, nope. I just want my wedding dress. This is a little beach yoga spot. Obviously, yoga is originated from India, and I wanted. This is probably the best use of the beach again. this little corner of my island is the best use of beaches. This is like a really cute spot though. When I have friends over and we all kind of just lay down. It's a really cool like aerial perspective. And I just love. I don't know if a lot of people know that you can customize beach towels, but you can. And those are all the ones that are available in the game, actually. So all those patterns is what I meant. Sorry.
Let me just take a picture of me hanging out over here. Or actually, did you want to hop in for this photo as well?
Oh,
here, I'll go to the. I'll go to.
No, you're
this.
good.
I'm good. Okay, I'll go back over here.
I'm just gonna go here. So we are laying in different directions. There we go.
Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And the music,
pose that we're in.
everything.
Yeah, the music. It's all about the mood. The pose that we're in is called Savasana, which is a resting pose where people usually nap and fall asleep during class. If there's any yoga fans out here. And that kind of leads, this is probably the worst placement for a brewery. But, after you do some yoga, it's time to grab a beer at the Bollywood Brewery, where they serve only exclusively Indian beers, which are Taj and Kingfisher. These are custom designs that I made using the QR tool online, and it took a lot of tinkering to get all the layers right, and to like get the perspective to make it look like things are actually coming out of those barrels. I got a lot of inspiration from people on Instagram that had already made breweries, which made it easy, but it was just like using this part of the island specifically that that made it mine and unique. All right, and then we just go through these little gates to our first monument. And the best spot is if you hop on that center rock right there. So this is the Turji Ka Jalra, which is a step well that you can find in Jodhpur, India. I talk about it in my Instagram highlights and a post about how it was a project that was kind of like, that happened only because royal women were commissioned to basically make water projects. So because I am a female and because that was a really unique story, I wanted to build it. This obviously took 4 inclines, which is a lot of dedication to inclines in this game. But I am so proud of how it came out. And I got a lot of help from people on Instagram. I just kept sending them photos and like messing with the panels and making sure the perspective looked right. So yeah, and you get some really cool shots too if you open the camera up where you're standing right now, and then you kind of run up the stairs.
Oh yeah, let me do that.
You gotta
have to
be
hop
on
out
the,
first.
on the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
And it's been like really cool seeing people visit in dream address like visits, because they can, it's almost like travel bloggers, like where they just go to places and they just take they take these Instagram photos, and I'm like, I really do hope you're like Googling and finding out what this actually is instead of just like taking a picture of it. But I appreciate it. It's cool. Yeah, and that kind of just brings us to the Indian housing area. So that first house that we just passed was supposed to kind of like give you an understanding of like what, sorry, I can't even see, the typical Indian houses like will look like, and the doors that I mentioned that you saw in the bazaar. And all of my villagers, like I mentioned, they all have shoes outside, and I kind of decorated their lawns to make it look like very haphazard and messy with clotheslines everywhere, and just like a bunch of like random things and some music, obviously playing, because I think that I wanted to represent chaos. Like I wanted it to be this like really crazy city that people don't really like know what's happening, they don't know what's going on. So there's just like a bunch of different stuff. And this kind of brings us to kind of where the villagers work, their day jobs when they're not walking around like Molly. So this is a coconut farm. It's something that you find a lot in coastal regions in India and South, specifically Calcutta, and I think Kerala. And coconuts are obviously a really popular thing in Indian food. They have coconut chutney. They have, different coconut curries as well. And I wanted, I've seen a lot of, again, different types of uses for palm trees, but I wanted to just like really show them off here. And this is also where the campsite is, because I was struggling for the longest time on how to include a campsite in a Bollywood themed island, or an Indian themed island. And I'll get out of your way. So that's kind of what I came up with. And there's like a little coconut cutting station for some coconut juice over there. And the brand that you're seeing, that parachute logo that you see up there and what we walked by, is actually a coconut oil brand. It's something that a lot of people put in their hair to like stimulate growth and just like strengthen your hair, period. And it's something that I think a lot of Desi people, when they grew up, they will immediately recognize this brand because it's something that like my grandma and mom used to do. Like growing up, they would just like massage oil into your hair. So I wanted it to be very recognizable. And I think that hopefully comes across here.
Oh, definitely. This is so fun. I love the little, like the chopping area for the coconuts. That's so smart.
And I also just love how the grasshopper looks when it's placed, so that's why it's there. There's
Just
absolutely no
over
reason
there.
why.
I'm gonna go back over there. There he is. Alright, are you on the left
I am.
side? Oh,
Sorry, I totally left you. Yeah.
No, it's all good.
I'm back in the middle.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Cool. All right. Okay. And then we can just walk through this. This is another little housing area. And I love how the houses look layered. I think a lot of people do them in windows so that you can see the houses. But again, I just wanted to make it look very stuffy. So that's kind of why I did that. This is a little entrance to my secret beach, which you can totally slow walk down if you want. And this is another Bollywood reference to the same movie I talked about earlier, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. If you're an avid Bollywood fan, then you definitely know this scene. But if not, watch the movie. It's amazing. Very worth your time. And there is still space to get to red. Originally, I didn't have any space, and then I realized that that's not very functional, so... Oh, that. And we're just gonna go to this bridge to see one quick thing, and then we get to see the Taj Mahal soon. All right, so this is a little newspaper stand I made of an actual newspaper called The Hindu in India. And I think I saw someone use the looms. I don't know where I saw it, as like a printing press. I just like loved how that looked. Yeah. And it's just like a really random thing, but you'll see some of the magazines that are out on the island kind of have that the Hindu like printed on them, just to exemplify that people are reading the newspaper all over the town. And then this is another one of the restaurants that I made earlier on in the game because I saw everyone making ice cream shops and I was super jealous. So there's an ice cream. I'm gonna scoot past you. Sorry. There is an ice cream panel from someone, I think on Reddit or on Instagram back there. Kulfi is just another type of ice cream in India. I'm waiting for it to be winter so I can get the ice cream items because I'm not gonna hop that far forward in time. So this is just a little pink themed area. It looks super cute at night too because of the lamps. All right, this is the main event. Ooh, I'm so nervous showing you this. I don't know why.
Everything has been so spectacular so far. So I feel like this will just be the same thing.
All right. So this is the Taj Mahal. I love looking at it from right here first because it's a really cool silhouette. And it just kind of shows you how grand it is. Because when you get closer, you start to see the details and the gaps in space from perspective shift. But the Taj Mahal actually took like 20 plus years to make. I made it Animal Crossing in like a week. So I kind of the same time. That's fine. And a really cool fact about it is that the emperor that was ruling at the time made it as like a profession of his love for his wife. It's actually a mosque and also a tomb for her. So it was like this huge like ode of like his like love for her kind of thing. Mm-hmm. If you hop on that stone, you get the best view, by the way. And then I'm gonna move out. But yeah, he also like cut off the hands of the workers that had been working on the Taj Mahal. He didn't want them to like recreate any other or like just like use the same types of designs that they used on the Taj Mahal. So he cut off their hands so that they wouldn't be able to.
Wow, I did not know that part. That's crazy.
Which is like a little extreme, but I mean, I get it. It's a beautiful thing in real life. So I just was trying to. Those panels are custom made too, using the online code.
Amazing.
But yeah, and then this is my house. I know, I got a lot of interesting comments online about how I should have just used like custom panels for the entire thing. But I wanted to make it my house because I think that's more special than just like using panels and like making something. And that kind of like made it really hard to build because of the top part of the house has that pointy roof.
Right.
But it was worth it. I think it turned out great, so.
Check out this living room. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not one for the clean white aesthetic at all. You'll notice that if you go through my house. But I wanted this to kind of just represent a lot of the color that you see in Indian textiles and food, and we'll see that in the kitchen too. I love this flooring. It comes with the game. It's called Kitschy tile, and it is covered with like a Persian rug because, again, my husband's half Persian. So it's just like a little thing about my personality. And then if you do like look around, a lot of my island has like a lot of like customized stuff. So like something that's really small but important is like that corkboard has like the Indian flag on it. And they're just like little, again, like magazines, like I said, that allude to a lot of the different restaurants on the island. Let's go to this top room first, actually. This is just like a little snippet of my personality. Like, I love Marvel superhero movies, and I just wanted a little like movie place. I love watching basically everything on Netflix. I do like little mini reviews on my Instagram that probably no one reads, but I just wanted a little movie room for my house.
This is so cute. So who's your favorite Marvel character then? Or superhero character?
I say it's a toss-up between Captain America and Spider-Man, which is why they're included in here. But Captain America is like something that I call my husband because it's a really random story, but we ran a Spartan race with a bunch of friends together, and we all had to choose superheroes, and that was his. So just by default, it became my favorite superhero.
Oh!
Yeah. All right, so this is my little kitchen. Like I mentioned, it's like super colorful. It's meant to just represent the food of India, but like thrown into Animal Crossing furniture. So you'll see again like the nods to like different parts of the island, like the garam masala packet and the basmati rice in the corner. Stuff that you're gonna like eventually come across in the island. Wherever you start your tour, it still kind of like all ties in together somehow. And then I just like how the circular carpets like offer something different than just like one straight flooring that people use. So I kind of just put a bunch of them in here. But yeah, this is my favorite room, by the way, that we're in. Just because the music is so calming and the lighting, you would appreciate this as a photographer. I was like really working on that ambient light for this room. All right. So this is, again, a little bit of an intro to my personality. Like, I literally either watch Netflix or play Switch. I think that's a majority of us.
Yep.
I totally got this panel idea from something I saw on Reddit. It's so cute. I love it. And This is like a little photography studio, just to tell people, and you can see like Photoshop on my computer over there.
Oh my goodness, this is adorable. This is so cute.
This is my little indoor pool. I totally tried to do something outdoors with the pool, and I hated it because I just don't like how the water looks when you create like water terraforming. And I loved how this little pool flooring was, so I was just like, I'm just gonna make something indoors. I'm waiting for cooler like deck, that wooden deck panel thing to swap that out with, but this works for the meantime. I think that's it.
Wow. This was like an amazing tour. Like, your island is beautiful, it's stunning. I love how you represented your culture and your heritage here, and like this is so educational also, like, which makes sense because you teach so many people, like, you know, how to do photography on SLR Lounge, and now like we're learning about your culture over here on the island. Like, let me just scroll up. Look at this, like the shadow of it. This is beautiful. I am so glad and so thankful that you were down to do this tour. But yeah, thank you again so much. This has been a really amazing island tour. Very unique, very inspirational, and just like so educational, which is like what I really love. Thank you so much for watching. If you wanted to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button. And if you'd like to see me live and become part of the 5EVER crew, make sure to follow me on Twitch at Alana5EVER, and all the details can be found below in the description box. Thanks so much and see you later.